Okay, Dynamite Delight. I got a little bit of a rant. I gotta do it. And it's not even wrestling related. I gotta try and keep this under about a minute and a half, but I'm gonna try. Guys, for the last couple of weeks to at least over a month, I've been suffering from allergy problems. The pollen in New York is this. Do you see the size of my finger? This is how big the pollen has been. This big. That's not a joke. The pollen has been really bad. Wheatgrass has not been too bad, but pollen has been a major problem that everybody in my area have been getting sick. I've been getting sick. But if you haven't heard, which I'm probably sure you have, right now in Canada, they're having forest fires. And I repeat the word, fires. Do you know how many fires they got currently? Over 400 of them. Say it again. Over 400 forest fires have been going off in Canada. And the jet stream has been pushing a huge chunk of that smoke here. Look on YouTube for some of the videos that have been posted from New York. It looked like Beijing before the pandemic happened, when the area was nothing but smog. That's how bad it is. If you don't know what the index is in New York, normally index is 50. In certain parts of New York, like Brooklyn and Manhattan and Queens, it was over 300, nearing 4. It's not lethal, but it's hazardous. When I went out early in the morning, it was, I think, 165 to 190. That's not good. Luckily, I didn't stay out longer than about 10 minutes. I just had to get something and come back. But, damn. I'm going to make this as short as possible because my throat is hurting. Okay, international title match. Well, the AEW international title, the Swerve Strickland versus Orange Cassidy. Now, I want to make this clear. Good match. Not bad at all. Seeing Swerve there, not bad at all. Ending, okay. Seeing that Darby Allin and Sting saved him, fine. That means the mobile affiliates will have something to do. But here's the problem. You got a Orange Cassidy badly overexposed as the international champion. They should do more segments in the back. They should at least slow down on him having matches, because at this point it's oversaturation. Yes, people are loving it, but I'm telling you right now, it should be scaled back for at least a couple of months, because you can oversaturate it to the point that eventually they will turn on him. No matter what anybody thinks, they will turn on Orange Cassidy, and they're going to have one of two choices. Either slow down on using the international championship with him, or they're going to have to make him drop it. Because if they don't slow down and they don't make him drop it, eventually they have to turn him heel. Because there's no other way to make it keep going. I'm just saying. Next, the Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos, which is Rocky Romero and the Chuck and well, I'm going to say this about calling them Chaos. I understand that's from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But honestly, I wish they would keep that. And they would go away from being best friends. When it comes to Trent and Chuck, I would like to see them change a little bit. But that's just me. I didn't get a chance to see who won it. I believe it was Blackpool Combat Club. I don't believe anyone came out to interfere. They just got their asses handed to them. And there might have been a promo from Bryan Danielson that was on commentary. I didn't see it. I had bad runny nose. Allergies. I was sneezing a little bit, but coughing a bit. Runny nose. So I had to go and blow my nose and stuff. I missed it. Whatever happened, I missed it. Hopefully, it was okay. Now, let's get to Hook and Jungle Boy versus the factional of, what is the guy's name? Telelistico and Vaughn, the former 10. Vaughn got his head busted open. I don't think he sliced himself. I think he might have gotten cut on the steel chain that Hook hit him with. I think he might have legitimately got busted open. I don't know. Oh, I was actually doing this. My eyes and my throat are itchy. Took medicine, but it's still not enough. Smoke. That's what we have, allergies and smoke. But seeing that Jungle Boy and the what are they doing with them? Hook and Jungle Boy might be a good tag team. But what I want to see, Hook versus Jungle Boy for the FTW title. I think that's where they got to go. Unless they're going to win tag titles, Hook has a title. Jungle Boy does not. He wants a damn title. You got to do it. Because it makes no sense for them not to go and become a real tag team, and one of them has a title and the other one's not even doing anything. Either he's going to say, well, the FTW title is really not anything, then you start a feud that way. That's the only option that I can see that they need to go. Eventually, either going to be a real tag team, or one Jungle Boy is going after two Hook for that title. I'm just saying. Next. Tomosuke Tateska versus, what is the guy named Damon Ace. It wasn't even a match. It was not meant to be a real match. Tateska used the V-trigger to destroy this guy. Good. And then you got Don. And I'm going to say this. Don Callis versus Dominic Mysterio. I know people are saying that Dominic is hot. I heard just Alex say that he's so hot. I noticed something, and I do agree with JD. Haven't you noticed that whenever Dominic comes out, that all of a sudden, when they start booing him, the boos just crank up to 11 out of nowhere, and when they're finally allowing him to, when he finally is able to talk, those voices just drop like a stone. Not that they're not still booing, but the actual fans are booing. So that means they're piping in heat, canned heat, on Dominic Mysterio is getting canned heat right before he begins to talk. And when he does finally talk, they turn it off to let the natural booing crowd get their business done. I can't believe they went there. I can't believe that that's stupid, because it's obvious. There's no way they can crank down the voices the way they do like that. It's impossible unless you do it in post. Or if you do it on the fly. Either you turn down the mics where the people are, or if you're adding something to the audio because you got a mixer there, you can add in anything you want. You can add in any kind of a sound effect. My guess is either, which I know the first one isn't, they're cranking down the voices of the fans, which they can't. Not to that extent. They're putting in canned heat. But Dom, they're not. They're not doing the Dom Callis. They don't need to. He's got natural heat. And it's not huge amounts of heat, particularly it was in, Denver, Colorado, I believe they were in. It's not huge amount of heat because the Denver fans are not that big and they weren't that loud. But you can tell it's them. You can tell that in the background, you can hear them and see them. So AEW, at least, they're not putting canned heat on them. Thank you for that, AEW. And they made it very clear. I got Kenny everything he needed. I got the Bucks everything they wanted. And they have screwed me. Kenny is a cancer. I've gotten rid of him. I got my family here and we're going to destroy him. And you hear Kateska talking Japanese. Fine. He can do Japanese. And unlike when it comes to Asuka, is now a joke at this point. Kateska, he's all right. And Millie, I want to hear him speak some more English to make it very clear that I am going to destroy you, Kenny Omega, in his Japanese accent, which is in English. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm sorry if that was too loud. I'm so sorry. But you get my point. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's move on. Okay. The match that I'm like, really? The number one match. Chris Statlander versus Anna Jay. Now, this is the TBS title. We did get a video with Toni Storm along with Ruby by her side, making it very clear I'm going to be waiting to see who this Fatal 4-Way is going to pan out for me, because they are going to have a Fatal 4-Way. I believe it's going to be Britt Baker. It's going to be Nia Rose. It's going to be, who else is going to be in it? I can't remember the other two people. Offhand, I can't remember. But you're going to have 4 women who are going to go through a Fatal 4-Way. Whoever wins is going after the, who is it? I can't remember who. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think that Hayter's there. I don't remember. But if she is there, it's going to be, those are the 3. There's one more person. I just can't remember who. But this is what we're going to have, and that is what Toni Storm set up. Here, we get Statlander, we get Anna Jay, and we get a Taya Valkyrie. Taya, who legitimately did all the freaking work to make it look good so Statlander would look great. Honestly, look, I like Statlander. But under the circumstances, she should have had a straight-ass match that Taya didn't have to set up for her. No. They should have let Statlander just come in with a regular match and beat the fuck out of a Jade Cargill. I know that Tony wanted to protect Jade. I understand that. But under the circumstances, I don't like them using Taya in that respect. It pisses me off. And now we see the match, and then we see Taya watching pissed the fuck off. Legitimately, she should be pissed off. And legitimately, I wish she had came out unless I missed it. I did go to the bathroom. That was not from my nose. I just had to take a piss. But honestly, when you see this, if she didn't come out and say something, I don't think she did, she should have came out and be freaking pissed off at Statlander getting this opportunity when she busted her ass twice and was interfered with twice in both matches when it came to Earl Grey. And honestly, I'm just like, my girl is getting the shaft here. I don't like it. Either throw her on ROH and let her go up against Athena, where at least maybe they'll book Athena and her correctly, or give me something with Taya Valkyrie. Move her into the main title picture against Toni Storm and make it look good. That's what I'm hoping for you guys down below. I just don't like it. Okay, let's make this clear. All the different segments in between the matches are all right. Tony Khan made it very clear that he spoke about Collision, and he said the main event of Collision is going to be... Really? Really? I mean, you're going to have Samoa Joe and Juice and Jay White versus FTR and CM Punk. Really? You're going to do that on Collision. Now, I heard that Collision's not selling out yet. They've been selling the tickets, but they haven't filled up the arena. They haven't filled it up yet. So hopefully they will, but this don't look good. Why would you have CM Punk going a trios match with FTR? Why? Wouldn't it be better to set up CM Punk over the next couple of weeks before you actually get him in the ring? You're just going to throw him into a match with FTR. Now, of course, there's a good chance he's going to show up in the show in the very beginnings. And hopefully, people will receive him properly once he leaves Chicago, because this is being done in Chicago. I believe at the United Center. I think that's the name of it. But I do not agree with this. This was dumb. Now, we're going to possibly get ourselves a good guy, Ethan Page, because of his contract with a Matt Hardy, maybe. And he basically is working with Cassidy. He's working with Matt and Jeff, and hearing Cassidy in his ear moaning is not something that's going to be good. I can't believe they're going to go there with this. Unless there's some type of swerve later, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do this last match, and I'm going to make it very clear. Ricky Starks versus Jay White closes the show. Now, I think that was a big mistake to close the show with Ricky and Jay. Now I can understand the reason why they did it because of Jay White. You see I'm botching my words, but the simple reason Jay White and Juice Robinson having the last segment of the show is because of Collision. That's the only reason they had this. This should have been done where MJF and the Adam Cole was. They should have swapped. That's what this should have happened. Because this should have been where MJF and Adam Cole should have closed the show. This should not be here. We know who won. I don't need to talk about it. We're talking about this. Let's make this clear. Was this segment good? Hell yes, it was. It was real life. And they wanted to make this as real as possible. I'm sure both these guys talked about it possibly in the back saying, look, let's make this as real as possible. Let's throw a little bit of, of our own business out there. And when you see MJF coming out to the Denver crowd, I do believe it was not Denver, to Colorado. I'm saying this. The crowd really wasn't very strong. It was a bit flat. I'm saying it for me personally. It may be great for everybody else, but it felt a little flat. Till Adam Cole came out. And you see MJF putting him over. You see MJF making him mean something. Talking about when he was in CZW. When he was in OH. Even when he talked about NXT. He did mention that. And threw in the Undisputed Era bit. And talking about Undisputed. Good. There's nothing wrong with you talking about another promotion. Unlike WWE with Vince. That now they are doing it to a certain extent. But not much. Before Vince came back, they were doing it. Now, have you noticed they are kind of doing a little less of it? A good amount of it? Here, he does mention it. There's no problem. But he does say that he was a fan of him. When CM Punk was gone, he turned on OH. He saw him, and then he really absorbed what Adam Cole gave him, and that helped him the way he is now. He thinks now he's nothing but a piece of shit. He's a weakling. He's a bitch in a sense because his wife's got his balls in a purse that she carries with her everywhere. And he made it very clear in Adam Cole. He says, you know what? I just got to tell you that in a straight up fight, you and Britt will whoop your ass. And you shouldn't say anything because simply put, I at least got my woman with me. Your fiance walked out on your ass and you can't hold a woman. Who's worse off? Huh? And they did go there. And at one point, he did say, nobody likes you, but worse, no one respects you. But the one thing that got me, he said, you want to know how different we are? Let's go into the back. If we, after talking with everybody, not in all this, in this order I'm talking. But he eventually said, you know, if we went to the back and we wouldn't have a pissing contest, we can check and see which one of us is natural or not. That one I did not expect him to actually be saying that he's taking some shit to make him like that. Because, you know, and some of them actually injecting the balls. How do I know? Let me give it to you like this. I didn't do it. But I know that those are one of the veins they can inject to try and hide it from people. And unfortunately, my half-brother was not into steroids, but unfortunately, he was into heroin. And he legitimately, and he had to go to the hospital because of this, injected every vein in his body until they collapsed. Let me repeat that again. He shot every vein in his body until they all collapsed. Flattened. Due to the fact of no integrity. And I found out later, because I knew what my brother did, my half-brother, that one of the places that they try to inject to make sure you don't see lines on your arms is up in the groin area where the veins are. It can go through there too. So I'm like, maybe he's doing it that way. But you get my point. They went there. And he basically goaded MJF into a match for the World Heavyweight Championship. And MJF did not take so well that Adam Cole pissed him off and then turned around and he just grabbed and said, nobody turns their back on me. I challenge anyone, anytime, anywhere. He says, fine, you got a match. And he realized he fucked up. This was a very good segment for me personally. It was very private in a sense. And he did bring up at one point the rumor of Vince wanting to turn him into a manager, make him a Keith Lee's manager. He did bring that bit up. And that led into the getting MJF pissed off and getting the match. But as I said earlier, this should have been the last segment of the show, because I don't think Jay White and Ricky Starks made any sense. Doesn't mean I don't love Ricky. You know, that is my boy. I knew when he was in NWA that he had something. I knew he had something. And I knew that eventually he would be something like MJF. I saw MJF and he didn't mention the National Wrestling League, KC, National Wrestling. But that's where I saw him back in 2016 when he was about 19 years old. So for me personally, I've seen these guys. I know what they can do. But Ricky in that spot with Jay White made no sense. The story's not that strong. And technically there's no title. There's no stipulation. There's nothing. It's setting up Collision. And to be honest, that trios tag match, I don't know if that's the best one to use. But this is just me. Oh, that's 21 minutes. I gotta go, guys. My throat hurts. My nose is itchy and my eyes are itching.